It's called Home. Someone told me to give it a try. Highly rated little horror game I found on the PS4. I thought I haven't done that yet. Let's try a horror game. I bet I suck at this. That's my guess. So, music's getting the mood, right? It's just if it's pixely, I don't know how it's going to be scary. I also don't know if I'm going to react to it or not, so I apologize forthwith. Oh, what to do, what to do, what to do, what to do. Let's go in here. Let's go in here. Yay. Is that zombies? Are there gonna be zombies in this? Alright. Let's give this a go. Benjamin Rivers, impress me. Your game will be saved automatically at certain points. However, we recommend you put aside an hour and a half and complete home in a single setting. I can't turn off the lights. I'm live streaming. Well, hold on. Let's get the mood right, I guess. I wonder. Is this too spooky? I don't know. I don't know if I like it. There, little lamp. Little lamp. Sorry, Benjamin. Sorry, Benjamin. I has people to streams too. And they has to hear what I was doing. Turn up the sound, though. We can do that. Oh, no, it's up too loud already. Okay, there we go. All I remembered at that point was finding myself alone. Oh, my head. Where was I? It was so dark. There was something by my feet. A flashlight. Huzzah! Oh, yeah. Can I duck? I can hold it up. Can I jump? Why can't I jump? What is this? Oh, okay. I was sleeping in like... Oh. Creepy. That house. Where was I? Like the Resident Evil door animation. That's great. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. There was a body lying on the floor. Who was it? I didn't recognize his face. He was still kind of warm. Is that... Oh, this is how you're gonna do it. Okay. Fuckers, I played Five Nights at Freddy's. I can do this. Stairs into the basement. This sounds like the perfect place to go. I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How did I hurt my leg, I wondered. All I could really recall was coming home, seeing Rachel. I was upset. She looked afraid. I shook my head and tried to clear it. Sorry, this is hard. I knew I should head downstairs, try to find a way out. This is my last escape. Oh, books. The shelf was full of books on local history and hunting. Seemed like the owner of the house really knew the area. We have a door over here, books here. Oh, good, more stairs down. A thin gray mouse was stuck in a trap. It looked frantic, but exhausted. Did I free it? Fucking right it did. Get out of here. Stupid mouse. Yeah, fist pump for glory. Oh, I can't interact. Oh, God, door over here, too. Well, let's see what's behind door number 1. Yo! Yo! An old dining table covered in dirty dishes for two people. There were dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles among the dishes. The smell was turning my stomach. How long had this been here rotting? The man upstairs didn't look like he'd been dead a long time. Whoa. A black and white photo. Looked like the man upstairs and his wife, I guessed. There was no reason for me to keep this. Did I take it? Fucking right I did. I slipped the photo into my pocket. Maybe this would help me find some answers. This is fun. I'm not going to get tired of the Resident Evil door thing. Why did it get quiet? Hello? Anyone there? Hello? A collection of rusty tools. These look like they'd seen a lot of use and were caked in damp-smelling dirt. Why weren't they in a shed? This is an odd place to keep yard tools. What would they have been in use for in here? Sup, dude? A photo similar to the old one I picked up. It had been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind it. Did I push the switch? Hell yeah, I did. It depressed smoothly into the wall. I heard a faraway click somewhere. Oh, now they look sad. Nothing bad is ever gonna happen to me. The atmosphere to this game's pretty good. I'm liking it. Did I go in this door? I really think I already did. What was in here? Well, I heard a faraway click. Something might have happened. No. Nothing has happened. Well, let's go downstairs, because basements can't be evil. A little jiggy do if you sit still. Ooh, a mirror. I looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn. There was mud caked all over my shoes. But I kept dancing. Had I been sleepwalking again? Was that how I got to that house? Door. The front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out, instead of moving the furniture. The bathroom was spotless. Everything had been wiped to a sheen. I wondered if it was the man's wife who did the cleaning. Or him. Boom, boom, boom. Nice toilet, man. Uh-oh. There was a photo development tray lying on the floor. Some leftover negatives were sticking out, but they were pretty blurry. I thought I saw what looked like treetops. It seemed odd that the tray had been left there, considering how clean the rest of the bathroom was. Almost as if I was meant to find it. Because someone's behind me! No, we're good. Yo! Oh, damn. I'm gonna come over, alright? Just don't stab me, bro. The door was taped and seemed to be stuck by the smell. I guess it led to the kitchen. Because God forbid I move tape. I gave the door a hard shove, and to my surprise, it cracked open. Knew that tape wouldn't hold me down. There were sheets of paper all over the kitchen table. It looked like a series of names were written down, but they were too smudged to read. I could only make out a few of the notes. Key card. Locker. Last one. I promise. Didn't make much sense at the time. So, key card in the locker, the last locker. That'd be my guess. Hey, Mousy. Cause and effect, you have earned a trophy. Okay, cool. Oh, because I freed the mouse, he was free to do shit. Alright, mouse. This part of the house is yours now. Appreciate it. Live long and prosper. Oh, good, another door. Alright. The box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor. It had obviously been moved before. Maybe I had found a way out. I must have moved it, right? Hell yeah, I did. I heaved the box forward, and it finally gave. There was a ladder going underground where the box was. A dank smell rose from the passage. Did I climb down the ladder? Hell yeah, I did. I looked again at the photo I found in the house. The couple looked distant, like they didn't want to be in the same picture. I wondered where the wife was. My leg was in terrible shape, but I had to get out. Looks like this house won't be in better homes and gardens, am I right? Oh, footprints in the dirt. Looked like more than one kind, and a lot of traffic. Whatever this place was, it was obviously used a lot. Hey, map. Places all over were marked on the old map of town. The industrial area near the river, various houses, and even the water tower near the old rail station. The guy upstairs must have done this, but what was his interest in the water tower? Some of the markings matched the scribbles I saw on the bookshelf upstairs. Newspaper clippings from the local paper. They were all about murders in town over the last few years. Oh, fuck. Wait. There were photos. Photos of our house. What the hell was that about? Maybe I should have looked around more. Tried to find some kind of information. Oh, Rachel, please be okay. I wanted to rush home, but I had to find a way out first, and I needed to see what else was down there. Oh, Rachel, please be okay. I wanted to rush home. A work table covered in papers, dirt, and a handgun. I hated guns. I didn't take it, did I? Hell yeah, I did. I tucked the small handgun into my pocket. Its weight was somehow reassuring. Why did I take the gun? It was so dark down there, and the air smelled stale and putrid. I couldn't believe what I saw. What was this place? What's going on, guy? The desk looked old and was caked with grime. On it was a stack of old, faded paper, covered with what looked like names. They were scratched out, and illegible notes were written beside them in a faded blue ink. I could only make out a few letters. He, Iv, E, He, I, R, F, O, Ro. None of it made any sense to me. Nothing about Rachel or me was written there. Maybe I need to keep looking. Well, let's go in the door. Kinky. Alright, what we got here? There looked to be bones half dug into the ground, and the remains looked old. The faded clothes that stuck up amongst the dirt looked familiar. They looked like the clothes that woman was wearing in the photo I found. Was this the man's wife? I wondered. What would I have found if I had dug deeper?
of homemade rack slung together with poorly cut wooden rope. It was caked with old blood. Somebody didn't actually use that, did they? The smell in that room was like old grease and rot. I wasn't getting any closer to finding anything useful.
I think the game's nudging me to move on.
Crudely made shelves. They looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I could still see the warnings. The slight fumes that still emanated from the cans made me dizzy.
Look, cage.
It looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coating the bottom. Something wet. That place was getting worse all the time. I knew I had to keep moving. Some kind of old boxes. They looked like they were years old. Wait a minute. These boxes had old clothes in them. Clothes that I remembered throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing here? If I was scared before, I was terrified now. Why were there photos of our house there, and these clothes? Was that why I was there? I checked my back pocket and realized my wallet was missing. Did I come to that house, or did somebody bring me?
You're cool, right? Right? Oh, that ain't good.
I remembered noticing the broken ladder. I had to be careful.
I could just not use the ladder. Just saying.
There was a rope hanging there. I wasn't sure how sturdy it was. Did I take it?
Hell yeah, I did.
Maybe the rope would make that broken ladder easier to descend.
I'm sorry, what? Excuse me? You say something, bro? Bro? Aight.
I had the rope now. There must have been a use for it around somewhere. The rope I found would have let me climb down the broken ladder safely. Did I climb down?
Hell yeah, I did.
I could hear a faint hum, and the smell from before started to get worse.
Okay, I can go back up. That's cool. Oh, there's the hum. Okay.
A bunch of old newspapers. Wheat message had been hastily smeared on it. Danger. No, keep out. Danger due to cave-in. I wanted nothing more than to get out of there.
Let's do that. Fist bump for safety. Alright, we're good.
I could still feel a faint impression of the rope I had slid down as I pressed against the heavy metal door. It was probably for the best that I hadn't jumped. The ache in my leg was bad enough as it was. If I could have, though, I would have run straight out of those awful tunnels. Who would keep such a place? At least, I thought. I had found that old handgun. It seemed to work, and from the smell of it, it had been used already. I kept the gun in my pocket. It seemed a familiar weight there. There was dirt on the ground. It looked wet, and there was grass smeared within it. Odd. There was similar dirt on my own shoe. Uh-oh.
Am I a bad? Arrow pointing for door. Let's do it.
I could hear a faint trickling sound, like water. What was that?
Oh, water, like been trickling all day. Exit.
A kitchen knife. Covered in drying blood. Thinking about it made me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. Did I take that?
Hell yeah, I did.
I slipped the knife in my boot, since I had the gun in my pocket. Did I really need all this?
What's going on in the old exit?
There was a rusty ladder sunk into the water, which smelled disgusting. I knew I couldn't climb down that. Maybe I could find a way to drain the putrid water.
Ah. Keep it down in there.
The door was locked. There was a musty smell from inside. I wasn't sure, but I thought it was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how it worked. Through the dust, I could see handprints from previous use, probably from whoever worked in those sewers. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off the flow. Did I turn it?
Hell yeah, I did.
I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it?
Hell yeah, I did. Hell yeah, I did. And of course, hell yeah, I did. Still locked. Okay. Ah, we still got the water problem. Okay. Let's go back this way for a sec. I notice they're all numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4, so that could be a thing. Oh yeah, I didn't go up the ladder. That's right.
Disgusting. It was a mess of filthy garbage bags. There were rips and tears in most of the bags. What looked like an old videotape was sticking out. Did I take the tape?
Hell yeah, I did.
I wasn't sure what I hoped to discover with the tape, but I took it anyway. I did not want to keep digging through this mess. Sewers. Did I quit?
Oh, God, no. I didn't realize that was a quit button. Just want to see if the other buttons do anything. I feel like I'm missing something.
Looked like I turned off the water flow on this valve.
Oh, it wasn't a puzzle. I was just supposed to do that. Okay. So if I turned off the water flow, what was that supposed to accomplish?
An exposed ventilation shaft. Maybe someone crawled through there, but it was so high up that there must have been a sore landing. My leg ached just thinking about it.
Okay, so whatever I need to do is in here. So I got a videotape. What can I do with the videotape? Oh, maybe the videotape goes in this stupid thing. I don't know. Ain't nothing here. If Probably something I have to push up for. That seems like a hint to something. I don't see what I'm missing here. Maybe I've just talked to more things. I don't know. Maybe I can go in here now. Right. The water. What's up the ladder again? The garbage bags. Anything else, though? That's the question. Okay, you don't want to dig through the garbage, no problem. What am I missing? Like, this seems like it should be really obvious. Doesn't want to go back. Oh, I didn't do that one? I really thought I did. Oh, now I understand. I'm just an idiot. Now I understand. There we go. What we got here?
Looked like the water drained out of that grate in the wall. There was a small metal key left floating in the shallow pool of rancid water. Did I take it?
Hell yeah, I did.
I pocketed the small key. It was so odd-shaped, I had no idea what it might open.
I have an idea. Ah, okay. Looks like my hunch was incorrect. Some exit, it just... God damn it. You just endlessly look at the door open.
The safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was that facility? Obviously been wiped off recently. The door was locked. I could see a faint light within.
Tell me to go the other way, but I'm gonna check this way. Because I'm an adventurer. Uh-oh, spaghetti.
I found another dead body. A sewer worker. By the wounds all over his face and body, I figure he'd been stabbed repeatedly. There was a key ring sticking out of the man's pocket. Did I take it?
Hell yeah, I did.
I thought about the knife I had found with some disgust as I carefully picked the keys from his pocket. I was almost worried he was willing to grab me. I was feeling even more sick from seeing another dead man. I didn't want to get any more blood on my clothes.
Why are your clothes bloody, blood?
There was a security camera in the room. There must have been a way to see what happened. Maybe the VHS tape I found could be useful.
Also, Strider was installed. Great. Don't need jump scares from the PS4, thank you. Sewer worker. We're gonna try your key on that door again, because damn it, I want to know what's in that door. And we're gonna try it on that other door, too. because I also want to know what's in that door.
I tried a bunch of the keys on the key ring I had found on the sewer worker, and one of them seemed to fit.
Yay!
A collection of stale liquor bottles covered the floor. The wall was littered with dozens of old, faded papers. Whoever did this was obsessed with some local murders. According to some of the clippings, bodies had been found in ravines, in the forest, and in one case, dumped in the back of an abandoned truck. I couldn't be sure, but I thought some of these same articles had also been pasted up back in those tunnels. Did that sewer worker find this room? Is that why he was killed? A faded receipt was half trampled on the floor. It was from the local train station, and was for 2 tickets. I didn't know what it could be. But did I keep the receipt?
Hell yeah, I did.
I neatly folded the soiled receipt and slipped it into my front pocket. Did that sewer worker find this room? Is that why he was killed? That room didn't seem like much of a place for drinking. What was the point?
Interesting. Alright, now let's go check that other door that was locked, because I have... Not cool, man. Not cool at all. Oh, yeah.
The shelf full of security tapes was strictly organized, though covered in dust. Looked like the tape I found was the one that was missing from the shelf. I wondered what was on the tape, and why it was thrown out. There was a dusty VCR on the security desk. I wondered what was on the VHS tape I found. Did I play the tape?
Hell yeah, I did.
The video showed a man right there in the sewers being attacked. The tape looked fuzzy and stretched, like someone had tampered with it. It looked like there could have been 2 men. I couldn't stand to watch that video again.
The dead guy was in there, so I'm going this way.
This must have been the other end of that ventilation shaft. Whoever used it could have gotten past the flooded room with this. Clever. Why go through all the trouble? Would I need that gun or that knife before the end? Both weighed me down and aggravated my leg as I climbed that old ladder. The thought of that videotape still gave me chills. Who was it that didn't want to be seen? Was it the same person that hid all those clippings away in that locked room? Suddenly, the awful smell of the sewer gave way to a pine-scented blast of fresh air.
Whoa, we is out. That's awesome. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Nothing ever can go wrong for me, 'cause I'm such a happy dude.
An old ladder leading up to the ancient water tower. The ladder needed to be extended so I could climb it. Did I extend the ladder?
Hell yeah, I did.
I popped the latch and brought the ladder down.
Damn it, bats. The atmosphere to this game is really good.
In the patch of smeared dirt and grass, there was an old beat-up old wallet. I thought it was mine. Did I take it?
Hell yeah, I did. Might be money in there.
I slid the filthy wallet into my back pocket. I noticed it didn't contain any kind of gun permit. In fact, it didn't contain any cards or ID of any kind. I thought I should recover my credit card and driver's license at least. Did I put this up here, or was somebody else carrying it? From the railing, I could see over the woods and down to the entrance to the sewers. Had I come through there before? If I did, someone definitely could have seen me.
Maybe that's why you killed them, you crazy fuck. I'm not crazy. You're crazy. Especially you, Nappa. Hey.
I tried the little key I'd fished out of the murky puddle in the sewers. It fit, and I heaved open the rusty door. The wind was picking up a bit. The night air had become strangely chilly.
Well, good, a house or something.
The old train station was quiet as a tomb. The only sound was that of the increasing wind buffeting the decrepit structure.
You slime. Ticket, please.
An old ticket booth that looked fairly ruined. Inside the ticket window were sheets of paper and... Wait. What were these?
Train receipts?
I thought the receipt I picked up might match these. But of course not. This station had been closed for years. The ticket must have been from the newest station that opened up on the other side of town after this one was abandoned. However, I noticed a series of fresher-looking paper, covered in tiny notes, scribbles, and diagrams. It looked like someone had been leafing through the old ledgers, looking for something. A name, perhaps? An old map encased in glass hung on the wall. It was the train routes connected to that old station. As I looked at it, it seemed familiar. Of course, the map I had found in those tunnels had similar locations marked, and the notes I found on the other man's bookshelf. His notes mentioned the water tower and even this train yard. What was he doing, coming back here? The sorry condition of that place seemed sad, somehow, but also ominous. The old train was ripped open and hanging from a shred of metal. As well as the broken fence was a dark-stained patch of cloth. It looked synthetic, like some kind of outerwear. Inside the train's shell, I could see a few faint impacts, like wounds. Could they have been bullet marks? Was somebody shot there? The ground was well worn, though I couldn't really make anything out. I realized I was touching the gun I had found as I thought. It was getting colder out there, and I had to keep moving.
Damn it, tree. Damn it, tree. Damn it, wall. Damn it, tree. Wait a minute.
This must have been in the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on that map I had seen. Whoever was poking around in those tunnels underneath that man's house had scribbled notes on this place, but I couldn't make them out. Here, the sign pointed out various campsites and walking paths within the woods. It mentioned a river, and maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded to see clearly. I almost wished I had paid more attention to those crazy scribblings. Maybe I would have been less nervous about entering that dark forest.
Interesting.
Trampled in the dirt and glass was a plastic card of some kind. I brushed it off and was surprised to see it was my credit card. I wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Did I take back my credit card?
Hell yeah, I did.
I pocketed the credit card. Hopefully I could find my driver's license too. Through the fence I could see a dilapidated outbuilding. I wondered if I could find my way around. There was a fire pit there. It was still a bit warm, and a few embers still burned at the bottom. Was someone else out in these woods? Why did they abandon their campsite? Two folding camping chairs, one were on the ground, one was knocked over. There were a couple of cans of beer spilled on the ground. Whoever was here left this place in a hurry. But why? The cheap dome tent slept 2 people. I shone my flashlight inside and could see some bedrolls, 2 backpacks, and a cooler. I felt like if I kept rooting through the campsite, someone would walk in on me. There was some personal effects shoved back into the rock. Wait, there's a notebook there too. Did I read it?
Hell yeah, I did.
Inside the cheap dollar store notebook was page after worn page of names and lists. None of it made much sense. The newest page contained several names. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel.
That looks an awful lot like that, other list I saw that was kind of half scratched off.
Rachel? Her name was last on the list and had a mark beside it in blue ink. The names Daphne and Olivia had been crossed out in the same blue ink. Cheryl, Heather, and Rose had also been crossed out, but those marks looked older and more faded. Who were all these names? I could only think about how much I needed to get home to make sure Rachel was okay.
Right. What was in this one? Bees? No. Oh, flies around a light. Okay. No, 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 no. Don't. Don't go in there. No, no. Well, guess I'm going in here. Damn it. I want to interact with the sink, not the door.
The grimy sink had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. There wasn't much in the way of clean water there, but the sink did work. A musty wooden plank propped up the stall door. It didn't really seem useful. Did I bother to take it?
Hell yeah, I did.
I wasn't sure why, but I took the plank.
I'd take that broken mirror, too, if it would let me.
The sign was the same as the first one I had seen. This must have been the exit to the other side of the woods. I didn't know who was camping back there, but I couldn't bear to stick around to look for them. I just wanted to get out of there. I had finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. Through dense trees, I could finally start to see some light. I must have been at the edge of the forest, though I wasn't sure where the path ahead of me led. I could almost feel the cryptic notebook in my pocket as I tried to think about what it could mean. And wherever the campers who had abandoned their site, would I meet them too? Through the path ahead of me was less dense. I still felt guarded and wary. Who knew what was ahead?
Walking down the road, down the only road I've ever known.
As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I'd worked as a machinist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind.
Okay, I guess I'm going through the hole in the fence. Alright. Oh, hello, dude.
I found the body of a security guard. Just doing his job, no doubt. His face was covered in blood from some kind of head wound. I wondered, was this flashlight his? I saw the blunt wound on the guard's head and looked again at the flashlight I was carrying. Oh no. Please. I dug into the ground with a cracked old watch. First my wallet, and now this. Did I retrieve my watch?
Hell yeah, I did. My fucking watch.
The watch was useless, but I put it on my wrist anyway.
Dude. Last one, I promise. Remember the locker thing?
One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. Old work clothes had been picked through, and a few photos and notes had been ripped off the door and spread around. There was a large power box, 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, snaking off to other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear, and cobwebs had collected on the corners. The box wasn't receiving power. Didn't look like the power was on yet.
So I guess that's my mission.
The door was locked shut, and there was a little electric box under the handle. A sign that was pasted on the front door said, "Danger, closed for repairs." The door was locked tight. It seemed to be connected to the power box beside it.
And go upstairs, right?
Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed an old bulletin board on the wall.
Like the webcam only looks pixely because I have it set to look pixely because I wanted it to be dark and interesting, you know? Oh, spooky, scary. Spooky, scary skeleton. Is that bothering you, though? Yeah, let's see. If I turn the light on, if it fixes it for you. Oh. It's always like a little pixely because it's, you know, PlayStation camera. But yeah, if it's distracting, I'll fix that. Oh, where are we?
board contained yellow clippings of newspaper, cartoons, and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. Norman took over a general store after the factory closed. He, Rachel, and I would get lunch every now and then. Rachel liked him because he seemed more positive despite the setback. I don't think I could say the same about me. Our old break table. The layer of dust and grime only made seeing this sting more. Looked like some beer bottles had been used on the table recently. I wondered, was that God using this as a break room of his own?
There, see, this is way better instead of tape.
The door had been hastily boarded up. This was Norman's locker. The door was dented, like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when we worked there. My head ached, and I recalled the last time Norman, Rachel, and I all had lunch together. Rachel seemed so much more at ease when we all hung out. Power panel. Looks like it was shut off. Did I push the switch?
Hell yeah, I did.
A utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Did I take that?
Hell yeah, I did.
As I took the hammer, I noticed it wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf.
Hint, hint. Well, I'll just continue on until I get stuck somewhere, and then I'll go back and unboard that door.
The locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Did I take the card?
Hell yeah, I did.
I slipped the key card into my pocket. Another panel that I hoped could help me get the power back on. Did I push the switch?
Hell yeah, I did.
Another panel. Did I push the switch?
Hell yeah, I did. Don't even ask me. Okay, now we go back to the door that was boarded up. Fantastic. Walking around.
I struck with the hammer. The old wooden boards came apart easily. After I had removed the planks, I left the hammer on the floor.
Yeah, I do have a knife and a gun. I imagine I'll be fine.
This was my locker, there in the factory. It stank of booze. There was a picture of Rachel on the inside. It looked like it had been torn up. I thought I had taken that picture home when the family closed. Factory closed, not family.
There I go, being all done.
There was a mess of empty booze bottles. I wondered if that man in the house had something to do with this. He sure had a lot of alcohol at his place. Maybe that god outside calling up here. The old break table.
Who's in here again?
Another panel that I hope could help me get the power back on. Did I push the switch?
Hell yeah, I did.
The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped to the inside, but it was scratched out and the face was unrecognizable. That woman's photo. I knew I had to get back to Rachel to find out what happened.
Another panel. Hell yeah, I did.
The key card I found seemed like it would pass through this reader. Did I use the key card?
Hell yeah, I did.
There was some kind of a ventilation hatch there. It looked like I could jump to the room below. My leg hurt enough as it was, but I couldn't see another option. Did I jump?
Hell yeah, I did. Fuck it.
Oh, man, my leg hurt like hell. The bottom of the ventilation hatch hung open. It was pretty high up. I wasn't sure if anyone could have gotten back up there. There was a crumpled up letter on the floor. It had been scratched out heavily, and it was hard to make out. Did I try to read the letter?
Hell yeah, I did. I already would have been looking before I asked myself, did I try to read the letter?
Most of the letter was violently scratched out with what looked to be a ballpoint pen. All I could make out was, need to. Just don't. Drinking. Need. Norman. Who was Norman writing to? I stepped out of the factory, glad to be rid of its smell, of its memories. I couldn't stop thinking about that room with the bottles in it. Was that god I found outside really drinking up there? What about Norman? And who had rooted through all those lockers? I couldn't tell where I was as I looked around, but I figured I'd need to get to a road, get my bearings. Maybe Norman could help. His store wasn't that far from the turnoff to the factory, if I remembered correctly.
Gotta go find Norman, see what the fuck's up. Gotta go find Norman, 'cause this is all really strange and it sucks. Norman, old boy, where you at? Going through the fence back into the woods. Yeah, I'm totally in for dumpster diving.
The garbage bin was a disgusting mess of rotten food in slick back black bags. I saw a thin greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. It was my driver's license. It looked damaged. Did I take it back?
Hell yeah, I did. By the way, are American driver's licenses green or something? Please let me know.
I cleaned the card off as best I could. It looked pretty beat up. I was amazed to have found my credit card, and now this. I tucked the card into my wallet, next to my credit card. Did somebody steal this from me? I wondered why they would have stashed it there. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. I had entered Norman's place. This was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet, except for the faint sound of a television. The entrance to the front of the store was locked from the inside. Looked like I couldn't just pop it open. It needed a key. There was a bit of blood on the keyhole.
Norman! You naked, buddy? I'm coming up. Oh, good. Splatter of blood. This is definitely the door I want to go in first.
What was this? It looked like a pull chain hanging from the ceiling. I wondered where it led. Did I pull the chain?
Hell yeah, I did.
I gave the chain a single tug, and a simple folding ladder to the attic popped down.
Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs.
Oh no. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my co-worker and one of the few friends I had in this town, lay dead beside his armchair. His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been shot trying to get up. His eyes were still wide with shock. Norman, you deserve better than this. Did I close his eyes?
Hell yeah, I did.
I wasn't sure if I wanted to give him peace or if I just couldn't stand to think anymore about what was going on. Quickly, I closed Norman's eyes. The poor bastard. The TV still flickered some indecipherable channel. I couldn't make out what was on the screen, but that glow just gave me the chills. guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there were water rings from 2 cups still there in the wood. I'd never been to Norman's place before. At least, I didn't remember ever doing so. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig through that mess, did I?
You're fucking right, I did.
Found a hairpin amongst the rotting food and trash and pocketed it.
This guy's gonna smell just great by this point. Hairpin. Lock. Maybe. See what's up in that crazy attic, though. Handcuffs. Norman, you had some demons, buddy.
There was a large cardboard box that hadn't been sealed. Did I open it?
Yeah.
Inside the old cardboard box was a pile of clothes, photos, and even shoes. As I looked closer, I realized they were Rachel's. What were you doing here, Rachel? Were you responsible for poor Norman downstairs? The items in that box only made my head spin more. I desperately needed answers.
Yeah, was there anything over here?
I wasn't entirely surprised to find this there. It was one of Rachel's old fall coats. I always wondered what happened to it. How long had it been there? There was a little bit of something dark staining the sleeve. Inside the cabinet was a small but impressive collection of hunting rifles, shotguns, and even a few items I didn't think were legal here. One of the slots on the rack was empty. The gun I had found seemed to match the others there. If the handgun was Norman's, what the hell was he doing with it? The gun would fit there. Did I place it back in the cabinet?
Hell yeah, I did.
I carefully pushed the piece back in place and felt a great burden lifted. Norman, what were you doing with all these? I used the hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. I never went there much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if we needed anything. The register was mostly empty, and a fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. I wondered if someone had been robbed the place before killing Norman upstairs. The icebox seemed to be unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. What was the matter, Norman? Cheated on your hydro bills, too? There were more various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. Looked to be in much better shape then. Of all the postcards, that one seemed to be the most popular. There were only a few left. It had been weeks since I last seen Norman, and finding him that way still left me cold. Thinking of him slumped against that chair only cemented my reassurance in getting rid of that gun. It looked like someone had taken that piece from his store, but why was it in those tunnels? As I stepped outside, I recalled that dusty old box of clothes in Norman's attic. I felt like I had only discovered more questions, no answers, but I was close to home. It was time to find out the truth.
I have a funny feeling I'll be retitling this video as a one-off. But it's been really awesome so far.
It was locked. This wasn't the right gate. The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house.
Well, now I... Aw.
The neighborhood's local post box. A letter was sticking out, as if someone hadn't pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but did I look at the letter?
Yeah.
The envelope was addressed to Norman.
This voice is killing my throat.
There was no return address, but the handwriting looked familiar. I took a deep breath and tore open the package. Norman, I'm sending this to you in a letter because I'm afraid to tell you this in person. What we did. Well, it was wrong. My husband isn't an easy man to be with, but he is my husband and your friend. I need some time to sort this out, away from you both. I'm going away for a while. I'm going to tell him, Norman. So don't you think you can hold that against me? Maybe we'll work it out. I'm not sure that I even want to, but he deserves at least that much. Goodbye. I didn't know what to think. My mind was racing. My heart pounding. I had to get home. I just had to. I had the wrong gate. This one was locked.
I bet you that's mine with all the bloodstains and shit there. Yeah.
And entered our backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid.
This game's been building for a while.
I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday? Or sometime before? The table was clean. It hadn't been used any time recently. There was a small pile of mail on the floor in front of the mail slot. How long had I been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card bill there. Did I open it?
Yeah.
I ripped the bill open and read it. To my surprise, it said something about canceling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? This didn't make any sense. The door to the basement. It was locked. Where had I put the damn key?
Key. 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 Oh, maybe it's upstairs. God damn, what kind of mansion do I live in?
The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. I found the last missing piece from my wallet. The old photo of Rachel and I staring back at me, reminding me of better times. It didn't make me feel terribly comfortable. Did I keep it anyway?
Hell yeah, I did.
I placed the photo in my wallet, feeling like I had got part of my life back. Still, The image made me uneasy. Why had I thrown it away? Our television. I had purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterward, but by then it was too late. Rachel was pretty angry about that, I realized. Our hallway mirror had smashed, its pieces scattered around the floor. I couldn't really make myself out anymore. I wasn't sure I wanted to. This one. The books there were half mine, half Rachel's. Hey, now that I looked more closely, it looked like the man in that house had some of the same books as I did. One book in particular seemed a bit odd. I remembered owning it, but not that edition. My wife's, Rachel's suitcase was sitting on the bed. It was closed, but I had a feeling what was in it. Did I open it?
Yeah.
Inside Rachel's suitcase were a few days' worth of clothes, some personal effects, and a train ticket. As I stared at the ticket, I could feel myself flush with anger and resentment. The date and time matched the receipt I had found. Rachel, why? Were you really going to run away with Norman? Was I really such a monster?
Starting to think you might have been. Just a hunch, though. Right, Nixers? Come here. I gotta pick you up, I know. But you're stuck. There you go. There you go, Nixers. You feeling better? After getting fixers? We got Nixers fixtures? Alright, sorry, terrible joke, I know. Stay there if you want, though.
A sink, which needed to be replaced. One of the taps always stuck. But I hadn't gotten around to fixing it yet. That old house was charming, for sure, but it wasn't always easy.
Oh, I got like the same bathtub. That's awesome. Yeah, I have a claw-footed bathtub.
We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. It seemed impractical at times, but it was part of what made that house home.
Oh, no, Nix. Stop. I know the drugs make you crazy, but there's no need to fight Atra, because he's not going to hit you back.
The can. How many hours had I spent contemplating life's deepest struggles here, I wondered.
Computer? Yeah.
My laptop had been left on and only had a tiny bit of power left. On the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key in the top drawer of my desk. Did I take it?
Yeah?
I pocketed the key. The laptop was warm. It had been running for a while. The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle.
Oh. Okay, I must have the basement key. Good.
I unlocked the basement door.
There's nothing bad ever happens in basements.
There were old Christmas decorations in the box. I couldn't even remember our last Christmas. garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key here. Did I take the key?
Yeah.
I took the small key and tried to remember what it unlocked.
Probably the old-fashioned keyhole you kept saying was old-fashioned.
There were old clothes, tools, and other things we obviously hadn't thrown out yet. We had way too much junk. I had put up this divider last summer so we could create a separate room in the basement. I hadn't finished it yet, so the door was stuck, and the drawer was poorly installed. I might have been able to break through if I found something heavy enough.
Wonder if that'll be in the room with the old-fashioned keyhole. Call it a hunch.
The grimy key I'd found in the basement unlocked the door. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? There was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I need to take the crowbar?
Yes.
I lifted the heavy crowbar. I appreciated its weight.
Gee, that sounds like something I could smash through a wall with. That needed to be heavy. Well, let's go smash up this wall.
Did I break through the wall with the crowbar?
Yes.
With a heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. This was it. Was Rachel down there? Was she okay? Don't look.
UFO? Or a shitty drawing of a jellyfish? You decide. Don't look.
Filthy looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful. It made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile to see what lay within, but I knew I had to. I had come this far. After all this searching, after all I had seen when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel?
Hell yes, I did.
Oh no. My hands trembled as I pulled back the layers of cloth. There, at the center, under all the dirt and mess, was my beloved. My Rachel. Her arms were bruised all over and slashed repeatedly. Her clothes were ripped and torn, and even through all that sickening blood, it was obvious she had been stabbed to death. The knife I had carried all this way suddenly seemed like a poison. What had happened, Rachel? Who did this to you? I thought about all I had seen and wondered if any of it could help me figure out who had done this. And when I couldn't stay there any longer, I stepped away on my shaky legs and made my way back upstairs. Reluctantly. Exhausted from my journey, I could no longer resist the urge to close my eyes. Maybe I would use some of Rachel's travel books and find some place to go. No matter what, I needed some kind of escape. It was my wallet, with its contents intact. Either I dropped that stuff or somebody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again. Or maybe somebody stole it from me. Norman's store, that forest, the water tower. Was I at those places before? Yes. I didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents. But what does that mean? There, that was decided. This was the old photo of that other man and his wife, I assumed. I found it in that house. I recalled those faded remains I had found deep underneath his house. What had he done there? What did I think? Was that man involved in this whole mess somehow? Sure, definitely. Those tunnels, the odd tools in his house, and the remains of his wife. He wasn't innocent, that's for sure. Within the few broken pieces that remained of that mirror, I could see my face had grown pale and weak. I couldn't bear to look again. It was like I didn't actually expect a reflection. I felt empty and drained. The mail still sat there, heaped on the floor. How long had Rachel been lying in the basement? It seemed like that mail had been there for a while. I couldn't leave. Not allowed. I thought about this some more. I needed answers. I couldn't go back down. Not until I'd gone over everything. I needed to make sure I was perfectly clear. There would be no more dinners here. No more chit-chat over breakfast. At least, not for us. I must have locked the door. There was no reason to return to the backyard anyway. My old office safe sat on the floor. I used to keep tax records and other important documents in it. I used to have a digital passcode lock, but I didn't have the code. Maybe I had left it somewhere. I leafed through the notebook I had taken from the forest. In it were the names that had been written down. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel. I recalled the names I saw scratched out on that old desk deep within those musty tunnels. Was that man in that house really up to something? Was he the one responsible for Rachel's murder? But I had found him dead. From now on, I'd have no one to get angry with me for stupid things like buying this TV. Just thinking about things like that made me sick with grief. It was the letter I had taken from the postbox. Rachel, were you really having an affair with Norman? But why? I didn't think things were that bad. In the letter, Rachel seemed concerned. She almost seemed worried about what Norman might do. Did he do that to Rachel? No, I'd say not, since he died too. Norman may have betrayed me, but I didn't think he was capable of that. I hated him. I hated him so much. But I couldn't blame him for what happened with my wife. So is that everything? Can I go in the gate? No. What door did I miss? This one? I think I just came out of here. Yes, I did. But who had killed him? The reflection in that grimy glass was only a shadow, a whisper. The quiet in that room unnerved me terribly. I still loved the old-time charm of that claw-footed bathtub, though it seemed like cold comfort then. Rachel loved this part of the house. key card I found on the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through that door. It seemed to me that it was probably Norman's. But if that was true, what was he doing back at the plant? It must have been Norman. He must have been using the old locker room. The laptop was dead, but I found some notes and loose paper in the drawer where I'd found the key. There was a yellow sticky note with an 8-digit code on it. 4R3UHER3. Did I take it? The code looked like it might be for that safe. But what kind of phrase was that? There wasn't anything more to find in the desk.
Let's see what's in that safe. I just don't remember what room the safe was in. Wasn't this room, was it? No. Wasn't a bedroom. It was downstairs. Yeah.
The code I found should have let me access the safe. Did I try to open it?
Mm-hmm.
The code worked. I pulled open the small safe door and peered inside. There's a photo in there of Rachel and I when we had first moved to town. In it, we were smiling outside the front of the house, which looked like a real mess. We looked happy, though. Odd. I couldn't remember who took that photo. Inside the safe was also an envelope. The front of it read, "Do not open until I tell you." I guess this was as good a time as any to see what was inside. Did I open the envelope?
Yeah.
I tore open the envelope and removed the yellow lined paper inside. On it was a letter, written in a hand that looked familiar. The letter read, "I know this whole event has probably been pretty difficult. You can't imagine how hard it's been for me, too. Well, maybe you can. That isn't meant to be an excuse, but, well, I hope you can better understand why I've done what I've done. Moving to this town seemed like such a dream. A quiet place to get established, to live out our lives, and to be together. But you know as well as I do that things quickly changed. Your drinking was one thing, but as you grew more distant, as you retreated into that world of yours, well, it was clear you didn't need me as much. In fact, maybe you never needed me at all. But it took all this time to make you realize. In the end, though, you may never forgive me for this. You may never forgive yourself, but this is probably for the best. You'll be healthier for this. I'm just sorry it had to happen this way. Rachel."
Can I go into the...
It seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe, I thought, I was ready to go back into the basement. Maybe there wouldn't be anything for me to find. But I had to take a last look. If I was guilty, I could take this to a warm, safe place and do something about it. Did I pick up the knife?
Yep.
I took the knife and kept it firmly in my hand. Now that I stood there, I realized I couldn't go back into that room again. I had already seen too much. I knew I needed to escape that nightmare. But what about the knife I still carried? I wondered, even if I left, would it really be over?
So did I leave that house forever? Fuck yeah.
Living in this town hadn't been easy. The plant had helped in some way to stay grounded. Kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had to start sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. I had MRIs and piles of doctor's reports, but nothing seemed to help, not even drinking. But I swear I tried to give it up. I know it. The sleepwalking never really went away, though. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me, even when everything was falling apart. This night had unearthed terrible truths, but I knew it was a final act of a long-standing horror I'd been living. Waking up in that house tonight was the final cruelty. I wish I had remained unconscious in that room forever. It was obvious to me that the man I had found in that house had something to do with all this. Could he have killed Rachel? It started to seem that there were too many things I had seen to think otherwise. After making it out of those tunnels, I thought those sewers might feel safer. I was wrong. The security tape I had watched showed someone being attacked by what looked like two people. But who was it that was attacked? I had found the contents of my wallet scattered throughout town. Why the hell had I been out there? Had my sleepwalking gone to some new extreme? The thought that I couldn't account for my whereabouts. But I knew I'd been to that forest, and even Norman's place, well, it was terrifying. I didn't know what that meant, but at least I had recovered my things. Hopefully, I thought, that would cover my tracks, so I wouldn't be blamed for all this. Deep within those woods, though, there was where things became truly awful. Finding that notebook only made things worse. Rachel's name had been on that list. So what terrible plot was she a part of? There was a similar list of names on the desk back in those tunnels. What was the connection? It was clear, at least, that Norman had been going back to the old plant. Maybe he was the one who boarded up the locker room, who had been drinking up there in that secret hiding place. So he killed that guard then. He must have. Maybe he was found out, or the guard caught him on patrol. Damn it, Norman, why? After the factory, I thought if I could find some solace, if I could just get to Norman's store. But all I found was more horrors and more questions. Now that I really consider it, that's when I should have seen it coming. Norman, what were you and Rachel up to? It was obvious things were more complicated than I'd ever imagined. How long had you been going behind my back? More importantly, why, Norman? Whoever killed Rachel had probably gone after you, too. Maybe they knew about what you were up to. I'd never know peace, Norman, but despite your transgressions, when I marched through the rain towards home, I desperately clung to the hope that this would end. And I guess in a way it did. But how could I have known how hopeless it all was? I had started to feel disoriented as when I sleepwalked. To think of it now, I guess I should have known from the terrible signs that greeted me when I first stepped into our house and stood there in the kitchen. There was no sound of television, radio. Even the air was still. But seeing Rachel there, lying ruined and discarded in the basement, that was a horror I never could have imagined. I don't know if I'd ever find the answers I craved, but I knew that somehow that other man I had found was responsible for this. If not directly, he must have had a hand in Rachel's death. So what was I doing in that damned house of his? Had I found out? Had I killed him? My damn condition made it difficult to know. Memories and time frames were always a mess, and I could never be sure. Knowing that man was dead, though, was cold comfort. My wife was gone, and no matter what happened to me now, I was lost forever. As I stepped out the door and stepped out into the air, I caught the scent of wet grass and fog. Rachel, my beautiful wife. Just the thought of her again, cold and inert, shook me from head to toe. What would I do now? Who could I turn to? It would only be a matter of time before the police got involved, before the neighbors knew. The front lawn was soft and giving beneath my feet, and I couldn't shake the urge that I shouldn't stand there, but rather that I should run.
Huh. Well, I gotta say, that was a pretty interesting little game. I suspect if I play it differently, different things might happen. So maybe I'll leave the part 1 there. If I find out about that, maybe I can come back and do a part 2. But this was very well done. I was quite impressed by it. Watch your back, Nancy. Of course, the programmer was the killer. The end. So anyways, guys, that was Home on PS4. Let me know what you thought about it down below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe because it helps me out a ton. And until next time, this is Dottie saying, bye-bye.